And joining me today is Liberty alumni Drew Haack, a former Taekwondo athlete. Drew, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Hayden. I appreciate it.
So Drew, talk to me about, just catch me up. What year did you graduate and what years did you participate on the Liberty Taekwondo team?
Yeah, certainly. So I graduated in December of 2019, and I was on the team for pretty much the whole stint for about 4.5 years, minus 1 year for a medical thing that forced me to step away from the team.
In those years, what were some of the things that you got to see from the Taekwondo team, maybe some personal achievements that you had, and then also talk about some of the achievements that the team had in those 4.5 years?
Yeah, certainly. So, I mean, there is no secret if you look or know anything about Liberty Taekwondo. I mean, success is something we have constantly every year. So whether that's a national champion in their weight class, in their belt division, or honestly, as a team, we placed top three in several different tournaments across the nation, from Texas to Colorado to California, and even at home at Liberty.
Talk to me about finishing up school. Kind of give everybody a glimpse of what your undergraduate degree was in and what you're doing now. I know if you knew Dr. Falwell Sr., which I don't know if you ever had any contact with him, but I know I did, being a Lynchburg area grad. Talk to me about just his vision of creating champions for Christ and what you're doing outside of Liberty.
Yeah, absolutely. So I never got the pleasure of meeting him, which I've heard I've missed out on. But honestly, you can still see his impact on the school and on our lives, honestly. So with that, I mean, it's something where I've tried to take it into my personal life. So after graduating, I started working actually at Wake Forest Baptist Health as a pediatric nurse. So working there, great opportunity, loved my patients, but God weirdly redirected me actually to where I am now. So I'm actually in Minnesota currently, working as a peds nurse here. So stories of people saying, oh, I didn't expect God to do this with my life. And I mean, that is 100% since graduation. It has been an up and down ride, but I couldn't be happier, not just for where I'm at, but the people I work with, the people I've met here. And honestly, I still stay in contact with the people in Virginia quite a bit.
Talk to me about just what it's like being a pediatrician nurse right now in this crazy time of COVID. I know this was the last thing that a lot of people expected to really happen. You know, in the beginning, it was, oh, it's just going to be a little scare. We weren't going to see much of what's actually taken place. So from your end and with the background that I feel like I know you have and your Christian worldview, talk to me about that and just being a light in such a very difficult time and also a very scary area for a lot of people is going to see a doctor or going to a hospital.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to first and foremost, Hayden, kind of address the ICU nurses and the ED nurses, just because they are a little bit more frontline than me, and I do want to give them the credit right now. But at least from my side of things, from what I've seen, honestly, it's kind of been a weird blessing. Not saying what people have gone through has been a good thing, but being able to talk to people, to reassure them, to even pray with several people. And people always say, oh, you can be a blessing to the people that you reach out to and witness to. The same is true actually for your own self when you witness, because that's an encouragement to you, because you get to foremost see the impact that you do have on your patients' lives and their families' lives. And while pediatrics is very hard, just because I've dealt with some very serious sick patients and a few have, yeah. But as far as that goes, I mean, you have the families too. So you have a bigger impact. They know other people who know other people. And even recently, I mean, really cool. I met a family here and saw them outside of work. I saw them at work. Basically, what I'm trying to say here, Hayden, is that just the connections and the people never would have thought would have happened. So God's really blessed me here.
Well, that's such a fantastic thing to hear. Let's move on to something hopefully a little bit more lighthearted. Talk to me about just your time at Liberty. Maybe talk to me about some of your favorite memories from the time that you've spent here. I know if you know anything about Liberty, and for people who are not familiar with Liberty, Liberty is a special place, and there's only so many things we can say that just people like us who have been through Liberty know and understand like what this place does. So if there's anything like that that stands out of your mind, what is something that you think played such a pivotal role and just made you love your time at Liberty?
Yeah. So honestly, what sold me about Liberty, the first thing was the people. I noticed that there was something different, and everybody kind of finds their friends. And for me, that was on the Taekwondo team my first year. So the majority of people I still talk to are those family from the Taekwondo team, the coach, teammates, and even though they've long since graduated, we still have the inside jokes. So um, obviously, a lot of you fellow club athletes watching may know about those long bus rides and the jokes and the card games, and the late nights. I won't spoil too many of the inside jokes here, but honestly, just each time we went to a tournament, having the memory and the camaraderie. Um, Winning a medal is amazing and awesome, but honestly, I don't have my medals here in Minnesota, but what I do have is the friendships that I still keep in contact with. So, yeah.
You are obviously a man who loves his family and loves his friends. I know doing that immediate move was probably a little bit difficult, but talk to me about just the family life that you have and the ability to keep in contact with so many people that you met at your time here at Liberty.
Yeah. So, I mean, just as far as family, I did grow up in Iowa, so I do have family not too far away from me. But yeah, I mean, as far as the Virginia family, a lot of them decided to stay there after graduation. And even though the move was difficult, still is at times, I mean, it was just something where everything kind of fell into place from move here. First, it was kind of the job, and then it was kind of the people at the job. And then honestly, it was also the churches here too. And not that a church sells you because it has exactly what's in your checklist. But for me, it was just finding that Christian community and people who could build me up and say, hey, you know, I've been through that exact same thing you've been through, or even maybe I've been an athlete and, you know, let's go work out at the gym. Let's go pray.
Well, Drew, it was definitely great catching up with you and hearing about just your time at Liberty, but also what you're doing now outside of Liberty. We are so thankful to hear stories like you who are just who have gone out to the world and become champions for Christ. So really and truly, thank you for joining me today. It was a pleasure getting to meet you and just hear all about you.
Thank you. Honestly, Hayden, the pleasure's all mine. All the rest of you club sport athletes or college grads or whoever's watching, just keep praying, just keep focusing on what's God is putting in front of you one day at a time. Thank you.